Hi everybody, it's Friday, so that means we're going to do a full flowing session that brings together all of the tutorials that we've been looking at this week. So if you've not done the tutorials, this is still accessible to you, but I would recommend for ease that you go back and have a look at those and do this once that's complete, because I won't be quite so descriptive in this session to keep it flowing for the people who've watched the tutorials. So we'll get straight on the mat. Remember, for this first exercise you'll want or may want either a yoga block to sit on, not one of the tall ones, but just something a few inches to lift you up off the mat. If you don't have one of those, just a well rolled up towel will do. So I'm going to start with the towel because that's probably what most of you will have to hand. Just putting that on the mat and sitting on it. This is only if you need to, and it's just to lift your pelvis up from the mat to open up that hip angle to make sitting up tall more comfortable. So straight into the spine twist. Legs out in front, legs together. You can soften the knees slightly. This isn't a hamstring stretch. And just make sure that you've got that pelvis tilted forward so that you're sitting up straight through the spine. We're going to start just by putting the hands across the chest. So putting your hands on opposing shoulders, relaxing the shoulders back and down, sitting up tall, breathing through the chest. Take a big breath in as you exhale. We're going to stay up tall and turn the chest towards the right hand wall. Inhale to center, exhale to go the other way. So you're just turning the chest, keeping both sit bones on the floor, inhaling back to center and exhaling to turn. Turning the chest to face the side wall as much as you possibly can and inhaling back to center. Keeping those shoulders relaxed. You might have a tendency as you go through the exercise to start to get tense through the shoulders. Try and drop them down and back again. We're just rotating through the spine, mobilizing the spine through lumbar and up into thoracic. Keeping both sit bones on the floor so that you're not turning your whole body across. You're just turning through the spine at the waist. It may not be a huge movement for you, but that's fine as long as you're observing good form. And one more to each side. Inhale to center, exhale to turn. Inhale back to center, exhale round. And we're going to continue with the spine twist. As we come to the center this time, we're going to bring the arms up and out to the sides, softening the elbows, shoulders back and down. Keep it so that your hands can still be seen out of the corner of your eyes. Big breath in, sitting up tall and turning the chest rather than the arms. The arms are just moving as a result of being attached to the torso. You're keeping them out spread so that you can just see your hands and the peripheral vision of each eye. So again, you're not taking your arms a long way back, just keeping them soft, those shoulders back and down and setting that scapula. You may be feeling this in your hip flexors in the front of your hips. If so, you might want to jump on that towel if you haven't already. Exhaling to turn, inhaling back to center. And if you are feeling it in your hip flexors, don't be afraid to just soften your knees a little bit more. We don't want them bent all the way up, but just soften them to take the pressure off the legs and make sure that you can sit up tall through the spine, because this exercise is all about the spine. Exhale to turn, inhale to center, exhale to turn, and one more each way. Exhale, round. Inhale to center, exhale round, and staying in this position when you get back to the center. We're going to do two more on each side, but we're going to add the pulse. So you've taken your breath into center, exhale to turn, and when you're at your limit, just blow the breath out and try and pulse a little bit more round. Not violently, just get to the end and then blow out and try and turn a little bit more into it. Still keeping both sit bones on the mat. Exhale and blow out to turn. And last one. Exhale to turn. Inhale to come back to center. Lowering the hands down to the mat. Just rolling your shoulders back and forwards just to shake that out a little bit. Getting rid of the towel or block now and coming to the front end of your mat so you've got space behind you. We're going to bend the knees so that the feet are flat on the floor, sitting up straight through the back again, either holding behind your knees to make it a little bit easier or reaching forwards down your shins towards your ankles if you can. Staying up tall for now. Your feet and toes and heels are together. Your knees are still hip width apart. Just putting a little bit of pressure into the forearms. Not squeezing or pushing out, but just a little bit of let them fall out into the arms. Big breath in to sit up tall, and all I want you to do, whether you've got your arms here or here, is just exhale and just drop onto your sacrum. Just drop off the sit bones onto your sacrum, putting that C curve into the spine, drawing your belly button towards the mat, holding your arms either on those shins or behind the legs. And I just want you to take a breath in to draw yourself back up tall, and exhale, dropping back, drawing that belly button in as if it's being pulled down through your back into the mat. Inhale to sit up tall, exhale to drop back onto that sacrum, that C curve, really drawing in through the core, feeling work through the core even though you're just slumping down. Inhale up, exhale down so everything's active. Inhale up, even with your hands behind, exhale down, and inhale up. And the next time you exhale and go back down, we're going to hold it there, and you're going to bring your feet just up off the mat so that you're balancing on that sacrum. You've got that C curve in your spine regardless of where your hands are. If your hands are behind your knees, you can open up your body. If not, just making it that little bit tighter by holding onto the legs. Taking a breath in, holding that C curve this time, and as you exhale, we're going to drop back to the shoulder blades and forwards to balance without taking the feet to the mat. Exhale to drop back. Inhale to come up and hold. Exhale back, holding that C curve all the time. Looking down with your eyes at your toes to keep yourself in the C curve through your neck as well as your back. Exhale to roll. Inhale back up to control. Only as far as your shoulder blades. We don't want any weight or pressure on your neck. And we're going to do 3 more. And last one. Up to seated, take your feet to the mat and relax, straightening out your legs. And from here, we're just going to get down to the mat. You can just lie down on the mat if you want to, or you can just do an easy short roll down, one vertebra at a time, relaxing down onto the mat. And we're going to prepare into the next exercises using some of the modifications that we used. First one we're going to do is just a simple leg lift. So from where they are on the mat, we're going to start by engaging through the core, keeping that curve in the spine soft so you're not too tucked under and flat through the back, but you haven't got too much of an arch with your pelvis dropping forwards. Locking that position in through the core, breathing through the chest. Your hands are just down on the mat beside you. We're going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, I'm going to point both the toes and exhale and just lift the right leg up to 45 and inhale down. Exhale, lift the left leg and inhale down. Just up to 45 degrees to start to get those hip flexors working. Exhale up, inhale down. Really lock in through the core so the weight of that leg moving isn't tipping the pelvis at all. Your upper body is completely still from the hip bones, the pelvis bones, all the way up. All that's articulating is the hip. Exhale, lift. Inhale down, drawing that belly button towards the spine. And Good, one more on each side. And this time we're going to flex the ankles. And from here we're going to take a breath in. And as you exhale with the feet together this time, we're going to lift both together. As high as you can. Inhale down, really driving this through the core now. The weight of those legs being long is going to be putting a lot of pressure through that pelvis and wanting to drag it forwards. If this is too much for you, instead of straight legs, we'll just bring them up into tabletop position and back down. Breath in to prepare, locking in through the core. Exhale, up to tabletop and down. Or with straight legs, whichever you choose. Really working through that core now, really working through the hip flexors, bit of the quads. You might be still doing it in tabletop, that's fine. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. 2 more in whichever position you're in. And lowering down to the mat. Just let those legs drop out to the sides, let your hips relax. Your hip flexors have worked hard there, your abs have started to work hard, but it's warming us up into the next few exercises. Another warming up into the exercises is going to be the reverse crunch. We did this as part of the corkscrew warm up. So bringing your legs to feet flat on the mat, knees bent, and bringing them up into tabletop position. Knees and feet come together for this one, not squeezing together but just in contact. Hands are down by your sides, palms down, tight into your sides because you're going to use them for stability. Relaxed upper body, engaged through the core. We're going to do this by squeezing the pelvis bones towards the lower ribs. Big breath in to prepare. Exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Inhale back down. For 8, 7, with control, 6, 5, 4, exhaling to lift, inhaling to lower, tucking the knees to the chest, 2, and 1, and gently taking your feet down to the mat. We're going to go now into the jackknife. So making sure that you've got space on your mat, you're not too close to anything over your head, not too close to anything at your feet that you might swing down into. So from here, we're going to take the legs into tabletop position, bring them together, knees and feet together. Going to take the legs out to 45 degrees and point the toes. Taking that breath in, engaging through the core as you exhale, swinging those legs up so the ankles are kind of just over your eyes, and then pushing up on the exhale, pushing the hips forwards and reaching towards the ceiling with the toes, and back down and rolling down to the mat to 45 degrees with the legs. And again, inhale, sweep up, exhale to press, only resting on your shoulder blades for this. Don't come up onto your neck. Inhale, exhale to press, back down, hinging at the hips, rolling through the spine back down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rolling back down, legs come to tabletop and lower your feet back down to the mat. Give yourself a bit of a rest after that one Hug your knees into your chest if you need to, give your abs a little bit of a rest. Rocking from side to side, just slightly, to relax that lower back. And we're going to come into the low corkscrew, progressing later onto the high corkscrew. So we're going to do both. Those who have been through the corkscrew exercise, when we go on to the high corkscrew, if you're not ready for that yet, just stay in the low corkscrew. So from here, again, making sure that you've got space, particularly at the end of your mat, in case your legs come down, you don't want to kick into anything. From here, just bringing the legs into tabletop position, bringing the knees and feet together and taking them out to 45 degrees, lifting them straight up. I'm going to take a breath in, engage through the core, really keeping that pelvis steady. Exhale, down to 45. Inhale, up. Exhaling in the opposite direction. Inhaling up. So drawing circles. Remember, those circles can be as big or as small as you can control. It's all about control. It's not about the size of the circle. It's about the control of the movement. So 2 more in each direction. So that's 2, 2, 1, and 1. It's a tabletop and down. As I say, we're now going to take this into high corkscrew. Those of you who want to stay where we were there can do so. So hands down by your sides. We're going to start in a similar way to the jackknife, bringing the legs up to tabletop position, knees together. Out to 45. Exhale, sweep the legs up. And we're going to roll out to the side, down through the back. Through 45, across to the left, up, round, changing directions. Exhale, down. Out to the right, inhale, up, and changing directions. And change. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. And 1 more in each direction after this one. So last one to the right. And last one to the left. And maintaining control, lowering down to 45, tabletop, down to the mat. And just giving yourself that chance to relax. You've really worked through those obliques, the abs, obviously the core, hip flexors, quads, lower back. Shoulders are going to have been taking a little bit of work. Triceps, where you've been supporting yourself through the mat. So relaxing right through the body. Hug those knees into your chest if you need to just take a little bit of tension off the abs. Rocking from side to side to relax that lower back. And staying here for as long as you want to. You don't have to come up as quickly as I do. Relaxing down to the mat. And coming up to seated because we're all done. It might be good to follow this up with one of the stretching videos, so take a look through and pick one of those, and that will really give you a good relax off because this one's been a real workout on the abs. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, any comments, any feedback, please get in touch and I'll answer as quickly as I can. Have a great weekend.